I want to tell us about the life of the Apostle Paul before he repented and surrendered his life until he becomes the workers of God. In the New Testament, we can find that he is a famous apostle, and he have wrote many letters to advise the church of God so they can live in life in God's will. And he also is a missionary that who has spread the gospel of Jesus Christ and baptized many people for the glory of God through his teachings when he works for the Lord. But there's something interesting that happened before his conversion, and that story is recorded in the book of the Acts of the Apostle chapter 9. Uh, the name of Paul before he was converted is Saul. He is a scholar who lived under the upbringing of Gamaliel. Gamaliel is the great teacher of the Jewish people. In the previous event, Paul or Saul was involved in the great persecution in Jerusalem. He dragged the followers and put them in prison. When Stephen died, he was there and witnessed the incident in which Stephen was stoned. But a change occurred in chapter 9 when Saul was very excited to persecute the disciples of God in the Damascus. He asked for a power of attorney from the Jewish leader. But when he while on the ways, suddenly a light emanated from the heaven. And the Acts of the Apostle chapter 9 verse 4 to 6 tells that he fell to the earth. This is the story about when he see the light from the sky. He fell the earth and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? In this story, Saul heard the voice of the Lord. And what his answer? He said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to seek and to kick against the pricks. And he, trembling the astonished, said, Lord, that wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him, Arise, and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. When this happened, all those who were with him were amazed, because at that time they heard a voice, but they didn't see anyone. At that time Saul got up, but he could not see anything. So the people let him. He stayed in that city for the 3 days. When he repented, the student of God do not immediately believe when the Paul have repented and surrendered his life to the Lord and are still afraid. They still afraid of him in Damascus. But in the Damascus there is a disciple of God, and his name is Ananias. God told to him to pray for Paul. At first he was afraid. He was feared because he knew that Paul was carrying a power of attorney to destroy the people of God. But because of the Lord's command, he finally went away. Then anointed Saul, who was blind at that time. And then Paul became a well-known evangelist because of his ministry.